All right. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello, peoples.
So what's up?
Yes. All right. So you see Kobe Cole from the Lowe's in the house, Mr. E's in the building, Mr. 401's in the building. So NBA Finals are upon us, and we're gonna chop it up about the NBA Finals. And
Hey,
so when we come back on the other side here, we're gonna get everybody's initial thoughts, and then we'll go from there. We're gonna talk about who we think is gonna win. We'll get a prediction. We're gonna give you our X factors, key players, all that good stuff. But if you hold tight, you'll get all that info from us. All right, today, June the 5th, the year 2024. Welcome. Welcome to the 411 Sports World Show. We are talking NBA Finals because it's here. NBA Finals are amongst us, and we're ready to get the party started. Jason Tatum and company, Luka Doncic and company, Mavericks and Celtics. Gentlemen, what's your initial thoughts on the series? And we'll start with Kobe. Coach, what's your initial thoughts on this matchup coming up?
Initial thoughts. Okay, so initial thoughts on this matchup. From the East, I already thought from day one the Celtics was gonna come out of the East. Even if Milwaukee was healthy, I thought they was gonna roll through the East and get to the NBA Finals. For the West side of this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks are the shocker to me. Not seeing their team not good, and Mr. For One, we talked about this on my side of the podcast. As when they made that trade for Daniel Golford, uh, PJ Washington, and etc. I thought that trade meant nothing. I thought that trade was like one of the worst trades because in my eyes, it didn't bring no benefit to Dallas. I was wrong. There's some great role players. They made that team look good. They fit and gel well with that team. So when Dallas, if Kawhi was healthy, I had Dallas losing first round to the Clippers. They came to that matchup. They beat Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Timberwolves that beat the defending champions. So coming out of that matchup, initial thoughts, this is going to be a great matchup. I see this matchup going to game 6, game 7 with a team that I didn't think that was going to be here versus a team that's been doing well all season. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, how about you, E?
hey, that sounds pretty good. I don't think I could have said it even much better than what Kobe said. And one thing that stood out in my mind when you said Kobe about the trade for PJ Washington, I didn't think that would do anything. In fact, I thought that the guy would be just another player, such as he was when he was in Charlotte and when he came into the league. However, that has turned out to be a very, very formidable trade. But then when we talk about PJ Washington, we want to talk about also about what has Derek Lively been to this team, and that has been very instrumental. We kind of know, right, what Luka and Kyrie was going to do, but we've also watched those two blossom together and blossom so much that people are talking about this may be the best backcourt in history, which I disagree, but it's out good for them. And and I expect it to be six games, 6 7 games also. And keep in mind with this, and it's like Boston is going for the 18th title, which will be most in history. Okay, that a franchise has ever won. It's something about the aura that's going to be presented when they play in the Garden and with the 2-2-1-1-1 format, right? Uh, that's situated right now, and with the Celtics having a regular season record of 64-18, right? And that little leprechaun might be really shining on the Celtics this year. It's definitely time for the Boston Celtics with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown to really, really make a point. We keep hearing about how young they are and they still have a chance. Well, now is a golden opportunity for them to do that. And let's keep in mind that 55 of the 76 teams that had home court playoffs, they generally win, right? So that's a high percentage of home court advantage right there. And they have going into the home court advantage over these Dallas Mavericks, who never quite been in situation before. So I'm really looking for the Celtics to maybe pull this off. But it's going to be a tight one, because with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and their supporting cast, anything can happen. So I'm looking for a very exciting and entertainment playoffs.
Okay. And my initial thoughts, you guys kind of have a couple of factors. I'm just gonna tie them together. Like you brought up, like the PJ Washington, some good trades, good moves by the organization. Same thing for Boston. They've made good moves for their organization. And I'm gonna say, let's take. I want for me, it's this one. I'm interested in Kyrie Irving, and not that he's playing against his former team, the Celtics. One of his former teams, but the fact that just last season, when Dallas made that trade deadline move for Kyrie, and they went from being a team that was locked into the top six in the West, they ended up falling out of the play-in altogether. And just what a difference a year makes. And giving credit to their management team and the moves that they made and be able to stick together as a team and get to this point here. So that's some of my initial take there on the series. Of course, we'll dive more into it. And then on the Celtics end, you know, how this team has come from, making conference finals, actually making it to a finals, having a little heartache, but now they're back in the mix. And so, kind of keeping their core together is good. And overall for the entire playoffs, I think the theme should be about teams. And that's what this finals is indicative of. It's about the team, 1 through 12. All right. So with that, gentlemen, we're gonna roll into a couple of topics here, and I'll read them off to you, and then we'll go back through them. All right. Let's see here. Better coaching staff, X factors, which duo will dominate the most, and then ultimately we'll pick a winner and Finals MVP. And then we also open the floor up to any kind of questions or comments you all want to throw out for us to discuss. All right, gentlemen. Let's start off with better coaching staff, Boston or Dallas. Kobe.
Say better coaching staff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Mr. E start this one off.
All right. So he passes.
Again, I mean, when we look at this, right, we're talking about coaching staff, right? We're talking about Missoula. Let's just say Boston, Missoula, right? This guy
Yeah.
has been tested, Boston, right? This guy has been tested, put through the ringer. What they were saying a couple years ago, 2 years ago, he was just slightly removed, right? He's still young. In fact, he's the youngest coach, right, to head coach an NBA Finals team, something of the sort. I think at 35 years old, right? And when we look at the coaching staffs, right? When I look at Boston, I just look right there at Missoula, and I'm saying, this is his chance. This is his opportunity to redeem, I guess, some of this stuff you could call slanderous comments about him. He can't coach. He make the wrong decision. He doesn't make the right moves. He's lost his locker room. We've heard all of these things about him over the years, right? And what many don't understand, the NBA locker room, like any other professional locker room, can be a very torrid place, right? And then we look at how the players affect the coaches, okay? So when I look at the Boston Celtics, and I think, you know what, it really doesn't need to go no further than him. It's almost like a do or die break situation for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to lose this series right here, that he would definitely be on the chopping blocks. Just that simple. So when I look at this team right here, again, it's just like Jayson and Jaylen. This is their time. It's almost a must championship win for this team right here. Jayson's about to get a new contract. That affects the coach. That affects everything. So we'll see how he does in his X's and O's. Because primarily the other assistant coaches doesn't really make a difference. Whereas if Jayson Kidd, all-time great, he knows the game. If Jayson lose, he's gonna probably still be there because really, when you look at it, when alluding to something you said, Mr. 411, and it's like we're looking at the head coach rather than the coaching staff. So I'm thinking if Jayson Kidd wins or lose, he's going to still be there. Mazzulla could easily be gone. But I'm thinking both are heady guys. We all know what Jayson Kidd did as an Olympian, all-star, one of the all-time greats, knows the game, very crafty-minded coach because he's been there. He's got the NBA experience. So when I look at the overall coaching, I'm gonna give shade to Jayson Kidd and his staff over Mazzulla. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's gonna win the series.
But just kind of giving your thoughts on the staffs and what they've done. I mean, obviously with Boston, they for 60 plus wins. That's a great season. They kind of cruised through the East this year, well through the league basically. If you only have about 18 losses, you done well against both conferences. So I think that Boston, they have a game plan. That I think can work against the Dallas team. The versatility that they're able to provide on the defense and offense.
We can't hear you, Mr. Ford.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can hear
I
you.
would be okay. No problem. So yeah, I just had a buzz in there, but I'm back now. Yeah, I just think with the versatility on the Boston end, I think the coaching staff they're going to try to devise something nice there. Jason Kidd, look, he just got that. I believe he just got that new contract, and so of recent days here, weeks, because it was a chance that he might have been able to get away and get to Los Angeles, but Dallas locked that on up, along with Ty Lue being locked up in Clipperland. So I think Dallas is going to be solidified with their coach for a while. Uh, but yeah, I think as far as the coaching staff, for me to say which one is the better staff at this point, man, it's so tough, and that's why I wanted to throw that out there, for discussion. But man, I'm gonna tell you, the Boston, what Boston has done, Sam Cassell as well, being a part of that staff, and he's a head coach candidate. I think he should have been a head coach in the league at this point. I'm gonna give a slight edge to Boston, just for me, just gonna give them a slight edge because of the transition. This is my final point: the transition of when they had Udoka, who led the team to a finals. They lose Udoka for other reasons. The organization decided to move on, and then it's like they're back. 2 years later, I mean, they're back. And so I think I'm gonna give a slight edge to the Celtics for that. Any more comments or anything you want to say about strategy or just coming from the coaching side of things, and then
Yeah,
we'll move into X Factor.
I add into the coaching staff now.
Yes, sir.
I like what Mr. E said. When you start talking about coaching staff, you tend to look more to the head coach than you look towards in the total coaching staff. And if we want to come to the better head coach, so we're to start off, Mavericks organization with the general management and all that helps Dallas look greater than I wouldn't say what it is, but
Hmm.
their general management team helps Dallas be great. As in, we look at the coaching staff, as in Dallas itself. If we look head coach to head coach, I'll say I'll probably get a slight edge to Jason Kidd, as what Mr. E was saying, the experience, what he has done with Kyrie and Luka, bringing in the role players, making the role players being greater than what they was on their former teams, where sometimes you have players like this, they're playing like this. Now in your head it's like, why they didn't do that on a smaller team that can show more? Sometimes it just takes a coach to bring it out. But if we're going overall coaching staff, I mean, what you said, Mr. 401, I like Boston coaching staff a little more slightly. Not only do you cruise through the East, the Celtics are 2-0 against Dallas in the regular season. When
Okay.
injuries did play out, they made great rotations. Not only did sometimes Jayson Tatum step up, Jaylen Brown step up, you have other players like Derrick White, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Kennard getting great minutes and showing what they can do. And that involves the coaching staff believing in your players. Hey, I need you to do this, you to do that, you to do this, and go in. As in Dallas, yes, they brought their role players up, but it's overall coaching staff, other than Jason Kidd, who we really look at? And I think sometimes Joe Mazzulla get a little more hate than what he should get because Mr. E is making some great points. We're looking at Boston. They've been to Eastern Conference Finals 5 out of the last 6 years, I want to say. They've been to the finals 2022, lost against the Warriors. If the Celtics win, Mazzulla, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do, Boston. You got a great team. If they lose, it's Mazzulla's fault. Terrible rotations. Jason Tatum can't do that. Jason Tatum can't do this. So overall, coaching staff, I'm gonna go to the Celtics because overall, I do believe what they do when they're teams, it helps them out better than what Dallas is. Not Jason Kidd. I think he might be the better head coach, but the general management team of Dallas and the moves they make behind the scenes, trade deadlines, and off season make their coaching staff look good. The coaching staff make the players look good.
Yeah,
My goodness.
when you
Oh, go ahead,
mentioned
E.
when you mentioned the Boston Celtics and Sam Cassell, remember a couple of shows ago we were talking about who we thought should get the Lakers job, and
Yep.
I just put this out here, and I think it'll be a good fit, Sam Cassell, you know. And I think if we look at the people that they have lined up right now, and I think Sam was probably the second or third guy in line, and JJ Redick was 5 or 6. But then, we get into the fray of, but JJ Redick does a show, and LeBron has been on there, and they're buddies and they're friends. And it goes back to a Duke connection, the way LeBron was connected to Mike Krzyzewski, and his staff, and possibility that Bronny was going to go to Duke and JJ played at Duke, right? So there's a lot of things, again, that go back to the locker room as well as go back to the personal connection that guys may have. But all the people that say, this person should be the coach or that person is more than what we see. It's a lot more than what we hear, particularly on the inside of things. But, that Sam Cassell does make a difference because of his experience too, who also Sam has won, I think, at least 2 championships as his storied NBA career as point guard or 2 guard for the Houston Rockets. So it's interesting, but it's always entertaining also.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And before we get to the next topic, look, this is just breaking down these staffs and their organization so far is already, letting me know right now that this should be an excellent series based on the two organizations. And before we go to our next topic, check out Cole on his show, Cole from the Low. All you have to do is type that in right there, Cole from the Low on YouTube. And also he's on TikTok, Instagram. So make sure you follow Cole for the Low so you can get more Cole from the Low. And you never know, you may see us on there too from time to time.
Cole
So
from
big
the
shout
Low.
out for Cole. Yeah, Cole from the Low. All right, there's an episode out there too that he has that breaks down why he has that name, Cole from the Low.
Say it one more
All
time.
right, what's Cole from the Low? Yep. Hey, we're gonna have Rodney on soon too, so he'll be in here in a little while. So he's gonna knock on the door soon, and we'll get him in here too. So yeah, we should have a full panel tonight. Can't wait to hear from Rod as well. Hey, gentlemen, X factors. E, you can kick us off. Who are your X factors in this series?
Oh man, again, I'm gonna start with Boston Celtics. We've been waiting for Kristaps Porzingis to come, and I think that he's supposed to be playing tomorrow night. There's no way that you can deny somebody that scored 20 points a game per season shot 52% regular season, and missed his last 10 games. Hopefully, he's well rested, and no doubt about it that he will play a very big role. And when we come down to bench strength in this right here, when we're talking about who's going to play major roles, we sort of know what Jaylen and Tatum, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum supposed to do. After all, they're going to be two guys that have some of the biggest contracts in the next 4 or 5 years combined together, and the highest payrolls just because of those two guys. But I think, of course, Derek White, Al Horford, Pritchard, right? In a long series, if this thing goes to 6 or 7 games in which we predict, it could be a 3-pointer made by Pritchard. It could be a 3-pointer made by Al Horford. It could be also a great defensive play made by Derek White or Al Horford. So, and then we know what Holiday is going to have his hands up against, and the rest of the Celtic team is stopping both Kyrie, or may I say, get in their way, because Kyrie and Doncic you can't stop them. It's almost they're invincible, So, but that's going to be great. Look for Harvard, White, look for Holiday, look for Pritchard to be factors. But we're really putting our eye on Pritchard for the Celtics to make things happen. And then one of the names that we mentioned early, PJ Washington, Lively. Hey, tell me this: what happened to Tim Hardaway? Where is he? What is he doing? What's been
Yeah, I
going
don't
on?
know. Yeah, I don't know. I know he was injured at one time, and then it just seems like, I think they're just kind of rolling with with how it's working right now, because his minutes have definitely went down. But Hardaway he's been an X factor for them in
Yeah,
previous seasons, as
yeah.
being the instant offense.
And
But it doesn't seem like he's in that mix right now.
I'm expecting him, if he's anyway healthy, that there'd be no way that he would want to sit out, this if something, unless he's got a broken leg or something, or something major has happened. I don't see him sitting down or sitting out. I see him trying to play through an injury, but he's definitely a guy that's on the lookout list to make something happen for the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, we got somebody at the door, E.
Come
Let's see
on
who's at
in.
the door.
Somebody knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the
Uh,
bell. Do me a favor,
who's
open the door and let me
Oh,
in.
what up, Rod?
Hey,
So
Rod.
what's
What's
going
up, Rod? Rod's in the building.
on, man?
Rod, he's our man. Let's get him a great big hand.
Yeah, what's up? So yeah, welcome, Rod. Welcome, Rod. Everything's good on your end?
Man, it's been a long day, fellas. It's been a long day.
All right. Well, welcome inside the studio. We're in the X Factor segment right now, right? So E just brought up a couple key names and what he has for X Factors. We'll go ahead and throw you in there right now. Any X Factors for you in this match, in this series,
Oh man,
and then we'll pass it over to Co after that.
it's full of X factors in this. I heard a little bit of what the previous rundown. My rundown is similar. From the Dallas side, we're looking at the ability to play above the rim. It can never, never, never. we when you go a few inches higher than most, hey man, that's one of the most dehumiliating things you can get, boy. You go up 8 feet and they go up 9.5, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's two of them out there. You
Yeah.
got really three. You got Lively, Jones, and you got
Oh yeah, Jones.
so
Derek Jones, yeah.
do you understand how many points these guys? Man, they were just alley ooping all over 7-footers with Minnesota, and now Boston they have a team defense. Minnesota had more one or two individual people, but when you play this team concept and they got that length, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to lob around them. Kyrie could be an X factor for them as well. If he goes off about 30, it's a hard game for them. I mean, for Boston. But if they keep him around, which I don't think he's going to score more than 15 or 20 points a game just because of the way Boston plays. That puts him what I call BTN, back to normal, and it'll be interesting from Boston side, man. Derek White, the ability to play defense and hit threes, man, he's just a calm presence, man. Jaylen drives. If Tatum ever understand, man, you don't have to shoot a three every time. It could be serious, man. At all times, Boston got 5 people that can shoot a three at any time. Anytime. It's a little different. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah. Well, before I pass it over to Cole, there he is. Okay, go ahead, Cole. You go ahead and take your X factors in.
Oh,
I say mine.
X factors. Oh, starting with the Celtics, I got 2 X factors, one for offense, one for defense. The X factor for offense, Derek White. Derek White plays his game how he been playing this whole playoff series, how he showed in the regular season. He put up his points, give us about 15. You don't got to put up Tatum and Jaylen Brown numbers, but you make a difference in this playoff series. Boston Celtics win. For defense, Drew Holiday. I don't listen here, guys. Listen to me carefully. I don't want no confusions. I don't need him to lock up Luka. I don't need him to lock up Kyrie. I need him to frustrate one of them. As long as he play the defense and make the plays that he's known for making on the defensive side of the ball, I don't need him to hold Kyrie to 6 points. I don't need him to hold Luka to 15. But if you can frustrate them long enough to wonder, even like I said, they have great role players on Dallas, but none of the role players are good enough to hold them afloat without both of them being on their A game against this Boston Celtics team. So Drew Holiday holds not frustrate Kyrie or frustrate Luka. He makes a difference, and Boston get a championship. Now on Boston side, on Dallas Mavericks side, it goes down to the whole role player situation. They role players have to step up, period. Because in my offense, in my case, I feel like Boston has the better role players overall. So every role player, PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., Derek Lively, Daniel Gofford, every single person has to step up. That's their X factor as that Dallas Mavericks team. The whole role player, second group, bench core, you the X factor. As long as you can compete with the Boston Celtics role players, y'all make a case and y'all can go to game 6, game 7 and be the reason y'all win. Kyrie and Luka gonna do their job. They're the main guys.
Coach, tell me what those frustration numbers look like. If they're able to frustrate Kyrie and Luka, we know that Kyrie or Luka can go for 30 in any given.
And that's the thing.
What does those numbers?
Both of them can't go for 30. One of them has to be held under 20.
Okay, so if one get 32 and the other one is held under 20, we might, and if they can do that for 2 games, that the Celtics, right, can say,
yes, sir.
Hey, listen, we're going to get those other 2, whether they're not frustrated or not, and go off. But I think you make a great point.
But and that's my case. I just need frustration because either way, Kyrie and Luka are gonna get one. I can't stop both of y'all. Somebody's gonna get their points. That's why my case was I don't need you to lock them up. I don't need you to stop both of them because that's being unrealistic on my half, on Boston half, the NBA half. Nobody's gonna go lock them up. And either way, they're gonna get their points. Somebody gonna go for 20, somebody gonna go for 30. Luka had multiple 40-point games. My what I need you to do is have one. Now, Luka, 2 games in OKC series. They won in game 6. Right. Luka had, but for 2 games, he had 19 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington. I believe PJ Washington had 30. That's where your X factor role player comes in. Now you have to sit there and battle with a better team with better role players, in my opinion. Now, what are you going to do as the star, the best player on this team with 19 points? Because best believe, now you got to figure out who's going to guard Jayson, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And I best believe, one of them ain't going for 19 points. They'll go back just like Luka and Kyrie. So the frustration numbers look like somebody can have 30, and I'm fine with that. But one of them can't have if it's 20 flat, cool. Somebody has to have under 20 out of your star players. If role players go get it, as a coaching staff, you got to figure it out. But your star players, you let your star players get hot, the game over with. Because now it's a duo with a duo matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Great point.
NBA jams there. For me, gentlemen, on all of these, man, these are great points, man. This is going to be a fun series here. For me, my X factors. One is a player that we haven't seen all for a long time, and it's Kristaps Porzingis. All right, 7'3",
That's a great point.
and can shoot the three. Like he can stretch the defense. And as you guys said earlier, Boston already have 5 players that can shoot the three. So now let's add another one with Porzingis.
Wait a minute. Let's back that up. They have 7
Yeah.
players. Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, Holiday, Harper, White.
Yeah. Okay. So 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. Not 7, not 8, but yeah. Okay. So it's several players on this team, but here's a 7'3" guy that could stand behind the arc and help spread the defense. And with that, and I think he has the ability to still make the three, even though he hasn't been playing in a while. And it's not like they need him to put up, monster numbers. He just needs to put up, third, fourth option type numbers. And I think you can get that from Porzingis. From Porzingis, he hasn't been playing for a while, so I'm not even concerned about the minutes. He could play limited minutes, but still be a factor. And that's what I'm looking at right there. I want to see how Porzingis is utilized in this series. The other factor is on the defensive side, and it's Luka Doncic. I want to see what Boston does to put Luka Doncic in positions where he really has to play defense. I think he's had the opportunity to not have to really play defense in the last couple of rounds.
Thanks.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen now in playing Boston? And they get him in pick and roll situations or switches. And he's going to have to defend because when there's some sort of switch with Boston, there's going to be a threat. And I just want to see what they do with Luka. We're not going to confuse Luka with being a great defender, but if he has to work a little more, there's more energy on that defensive end, and we know he's got to put a lot of energy out on the offensive end. So that I'm gonna be looking at that to see how is Boston going to put him in a compromised position, and how is Dallas going to protect Luka when it comes to those type of switches and things like that.
They
So
can't
we're looking
protect
at
him.
if you
You're
can
right. I mean,
trade
they
one
can't
player or 2 players, and then if you can make one cry, because Luka's gonna start crying, right? So we're looking at some tears and some frustration. Then, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's one more X factor. I forgot to add, y'all. Y'all not gonna believe it, but I gotta go with it. I don't even know if he's playing, but for Boston, Cornette, that dude's the truth, man. Cornette balls, man. Cornette,
He's a hustler, man.
Cornette, he can jump.
He had a few games, and he's had a few good games. And like you said, a lot of people's like, "Where's that dude come from? Where has he been?"
Hey, man, that dude be.
I want to say I seen him in Charlotte before one time, right? I think that's where he was playing at before that.
He can stretch you out a little bit, free throw line. He can rebound. He can play above the rim. And that's that second unit. See, when he get in there, you haven't lost none. He might not shoot a 3, but you haven't lost none.
Hey, Rod.
Right.
Just like we can't remember him from doing much, he even looks that way. He looks like he's saying, "Gosh, I didn't believe I could do that." You ever notice that guy? You'll notice his facial expression, man. He's like, "I didn't know if I could do that." I did that.
He's doing it. He is doing it. He is doing it. I think it's going.
Okay.
I think it's going 5.
All right. Well, don't tell us which way yet, because we're gonna get there in about 2 more topics. The next topic here is duos, and we know who the duos are, unless someone has another duo that they want to throw in there. But Boston's duo of Tatum and Brown, or Dallas duo of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, which duo will dominate more? Let's see who hasn't kicked this off yet first. Rodney.
I think the potential duo right offhand is, to me, has to be Boston. I mean, if Tatum would just step in and not shoot so many threes, because one of them loves to drive. He's gonna drive. He's gonna penetrate, and I like that Brown does that. But Tatum, every now and then, he just gets stuck out there shooting those threes, man, and they not falling. He continued, shoot. I get that. But if he was to ever just drive, man, and just be like we used to say about LeBron, just get about free throw line, man, and just dominate. You rising over everybody. That could be a serious duo if he cut down on those 3 attempts, man, and just stay in that paint a little bit. They're gonna kill somebody, man. You might looking at 40 per player. Ooh. And it's nothing Mavs can do against that.
Yeah, I think that what you said, Tatum, sometimes Tatum gets stuck on the 3. You know? And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why that happened. He's 6'9". He's versatile. Good defensive player. But at 6'9", and you're coming from the wing, or you even coming from the point area, right? And specifically, if you're in the T area, right? At 6'9", there are only so many guys that have his versatility that can just shoot over guys at 6'9". It's one of the advantages. We a lot of times we compare Tatum with Kobe, right? And one of the advantages that he has, there's a difference between a 6'7", 6'6", 6'7" guy such as Kobe and a 6'9". And when you know that you can rise over a player, right, with those 2 or 3 inches, you have the thought process sometime of saying, I'll just shoot it right here. I'm a good shooter. I know I could make it. But as you said also with Jaylen Brown, he's going to drive to the bucket. He's going to get some contact, and he can make the shot. But what I really want to see, because it is Tatum and Brown's time. It is their time. This is their year. They need to take advantage of whatever opportunity. And we're going back to the coaching thing. This is where I'm going to give Jayson the credit over Missoula right here. Jayson has been there before. He's a world champion. He's an Olympian. He's a very smart player. He's an all-time great, right? He was a point guard. He was a player. He's been there before. And I hope that he just doesn't outwit Missoula when it really gets to real X and O time. I hope that adds to the tension and the entertainment and the stress of these playoffs right here.
I can see that.
Very good. Let's see if Cole's there. If he's back. Okay, we're talking duos. Yes, sir. We're talking duos, and which one of these duos you like the best? Which one's gonna dominate more?
Okay, the duo I like the best, and the duo that I think is going to dominate the more. I like Mavericks duo, Kyrie and Luka, because it's the same thing. How I just talked about how you have to frustrate one of them, and one is going to go off for 30. Both of them have stability, and they can both do it. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to work because it's Kyrie and it's Luka, but this duo has worked very well. And when it comes to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, my biggest fear with them two is both of them can sometimes be inconsistent, and it's be their own problem. It's not because of defense. It's not because of the team they play. It's their own problem of just being inconsistent and having inconsistency. So the duo I think they're going to dominate more is Kyrie and Luka. But if that plays into the series, this how I go into I will always, in my philosophy, I will always pick the better team over the better players. In my opinion, the better 2-star players is the duo Kyrie and Luka, but the better overall team is the Boston Celtics.
All right. Anybody got anything else on that?
Yeah, man. I got
okay.
I think I like his point, and I don't necessarily agree that Luka and Kyrie are the best duo, but they are intriguing. But my question is why they are a good duo, and the reason they are a good duo is because Kyrie lets up. So Kyrie just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna let you have it. If somebody taps into, hey Kyrie, you need to do your thing. It's not a whole lot of shots for Luka. I mean, I'm just being honest. If Kyrie start playing like we know this man was once on a Kobe / godlike level, almost. he just kind of, you know what, I'm gonna dial it down, and he's really dialed it down with Dallas. But if that old Kyrie was to come out, and see, he don't wait around for you. He's not a whole lot of passing when he gets like that. If we see that Kyrie, now that's the difference maker, but it could also destroy Dallas, because that matchup, that even kill between those two stars, it'll be gone, and he will take over.
To add on to that, that's why they're a good duo, because Kyrie lifts up, but Luka also let Kyrie have his shine. The same thing with Kyrie made that one hand, left hand buzzer beater against Denver Nuggets. Luka let Kyrie do that. They bounce off of each other because they let each other have their shine of who's gonna do what and what time.
One of the phenomenons I like about this right here is the two things that you guys just mentioned right there. There's a level of respect, and I'm wondering if this level of respect that these guys have, okay, with Kyrie's maturity. Kyrie has matured so much, and I think some of the things that happen to him off court, and when we talk about his personal life, when we talk about, having a child, and I don't know whether he's married now, but from my understanding, he has a great relationship with his family now, and seeing his dad, and then with the controversy that he went through a couple of years ago, saying things like the world was round, and not saying the world isn't round or flat, but that's his conversation. But the things that he's been through, right? Getting contracts dropped, his personal life, and then just being aging and having played, right? And we know what happened in Cleveland and such. But as you said, Rod, when Kyrie, gets to going, it's probably nobody in the world already think he's probably the best ball handler ever, and he's put on this left-handed display in the last month that's had people marveling. So there's probably not a better ball handler ever in the world. And with his maturity and aging, and with Doncic still being young, being able to use his body to put people on his hip, use his weight, being a fantastic shooter, this thing is meshing up into, as many people saying now, one of the best, and some saying the best backcourt ever, which I'm not ready to give them that yet. But this makes it majestic. This makes it interesting. This makes it watchable. This is must-see TV. So I'm looking forward to the series.
Yeah. Can't wait. And for me, man, it's tough, man. Just thinking about these duos, because I mean, you got on one side in Dallas, either player can put up 30 or 40 if they got to, or 50 if they have to. In Boston, I mean, Tatum, he can put up 30, 40, and you don't even know it's done. Like, that's the thing about Tatum sometimes with me, is like, wow, I mean, I look up and he's got 35, and I'm like, how did he do it? Brown, it seems like he tends to have a game when Tatum doesn't have the high game. Like, it kind of flows, but I'm okay with that. And so I've been tussling back and forth between the two duos, and I'm trying to think about the defensive end side of things, and maybe with Brown adding a little more defense in there, they have a little more length between Tatum and Brown. It's tough, man. I mean, it's almost a push for me. But which duo will dominate more? I think it's going to be Dallas's duo, because that duo really has to, in my opinion. So I think they will more. Boston will probably be more across the board. Some of everybody giving in some of everything. I heard Derek White's name. He's going to tap into there a little bit. Drew Holiday, with his playoff experience, he'll kind of cut into some of that production too. So I think that the Dallas duo they're gonna give us something special in this series.
We're gonna see, man. If this is what it's gonna boil down to. If we see Kyrie, he come out there in the moccasins that he been playing in, we know
love him.
He calm down a little bit. But if we see him in them old Nike Kyries, y'all better be ready.
Well, speaking of the shoes, right? Kyrie Irving is just in the news too, that his new shoe brand ATA, he's already, what's it called again, Cole?
Answer.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And so with that, his dad is he signed his dad to a shoe deal, which is what I thought was a great move there. His dad played at Boston University, and so it's great that Kyrie honors his father like that, with signing him to the
What
shoe
a great,
deal.
what a great thing.
Yeah,
Great thing.
pretty neat there. Pretty
And,
neat there.
and we can see the maturity out of that too. You know,
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
he
And shout
dropped,
out to Curry.
where he was dropped
Yeah.
by so many endorsement deals, right? And he's
Hmm.
fought through that, and it shows a testament to his maturity. And again, we get to a point where his longevity. What a lot of people, what we got to remember is that Kyrie only played 1 year in college at Duke,
Yeah,
and
and I don't how many games? 11 games
maybe
somewhere
even
in there.
teams.
Yeah,
And
11. He
guy,
played exactly
yeah,
11.
if
yeah.
you talk about somebody that may be put in that category ahead of his time, and due to the things that he's been involved with in life will never get the recognition that he probably deserved as a player. Um, Gosh, that's a lot for a young man. And so all this stuff encompasses, the individual. And I heard somebody
Hmm.
a few minutes ago, Kobe, about the team, uh, the player, the individual, the organization. It encompasses the whole gambit of what we're looking at, the entertainment, the piece that we are expecting as fans of the game from the person, the player, the team, what they bring to the table. And it makes for an exciting run of what we're getting ready to see.
Yeah. And looks like here Kyrie's wife is Marlene Wilkerson, uh, in their relationship. So uh, I think he is a married man, and he's Muslim faith as well. So he's went through a lot of that too. And shout out to Dallas for helping him out during his Ramadan, where he only can eat certain types of food and only drink water. Certain times. I don't want to disrespect that the religion because I don't know all the ins and outs. But you understand what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
King
he couldn't. Yeah,
Olajuwon.
he couldn't eat from sun up to sundown. He couldn't eat.
Right. And I remember Akeem Olajuwon, back in the days, he went through that as well. And I'm certain there's other players as well, but I mean, I remember Olajuwon used to do that, but still get quadruple doubles. That's amazing. but
Faith, man,
but yeah,
your faith
yeah,
is
and
there.
also, and yeah, and I don't want to leave this out either. That Kyrie did go through a tough time there, as far as like, especially in Brooklyn and during the COVID time, where he didn't want to take the vaccine, and that's everybody's personal decision whether they want to or not. But I know he took a big, a lot of slander for that during that time, and for him to make the decision that he wanted to make, and he stood by his thing, and now this is an opportunity for him to start, getting his flowers that I think are rightly deserved for him. And it's good to hear a lot of people in social media who was really giving him a tough time. They're coming back saying, "We apologize, Kyrie. We apologize, Kyrie."
Stephen A.
And
Smith.
all along, yeah, that's one. Yeah. And all along, Kyrie was just doing what he stood by his principles. And I can respect, I got big respect for people who, anyone who does that. He sticks by his principles, and that's for a whole nother day. But definitely shout out to Kyrie, and want to make sure he gets his flowers there. All right, gentlemen, we're talking about these duos, the X factors, and all these different things, the coaches, coaching staffs, our initial thoughts for the series and everything. You know where I'm going now. So it's about time for us to give a winner. We're going to go around the horn, and give our winners, of who's going to win the series. But before we do that, just keep in mind that there are Dallas is a number 5 seed. They're a 5 seed. The 5 seed has never won the NBA Finals. Now I remember vividly, back when the Houston Rockets did it. Speaking of Akeem Olajuwon, they were a 6 seed, and so that's coming from the depths. But the 6 seed that won the finals, but Dallas is not. I mean, they're in a position where no one in that position has won it. The 5, the 7, the 8, and let's go back to 1969, where Bill Russell. I think this was his last season in the NBA. He was a player coach. Boston was the 4 seed that year, A lot of people don't realize that the Celtics, when they beat the Lakers, with Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, I think, and then Elgin Baylor, we're not gonna count him because he retired like right into the beginning of that season, and that was unfortunate. But that Boston was a 4 seed in the East and won the championship. You also have 8 teams that won as a 3 seed. That's a good spot. 16 teams won as a two. That's self-explanatory. And then you have the 51 teams winning as a 1 seed. So with all that in the back, gentlemen, in the backdrop, who do you have winning this series?
Can I
And
start off?
there's the schedule.
I got to go in a little bit.
Okay. You can go and you can pick the MVP at the same time, and then we'll let you ride, Cole.
Okay, cool. All right, so my winner, I'm gonna take Boston Celtics in 6 or 7. The reason being, even though I feel like the better duo is Kyrie and Luka, if in my beliefs, I always pick the better team over the better players. If it was 2v2, I pick the Dallas Mavericks, but it's not a 2v2 game. It's a team of 5v5. And I feel like Boston has the better role players and the better overall team with defense, scoring. Anybody can hit a clutch time bucket, and it which is Jayson Kidd. But my opinion, I like Boston MVP. The Eastern Conference MVP with Jaylen Brown. I feel like Finals MVP gonna be Jason Tatum.
All right. We appreciate that. Cole, make sure you check
Hey,
out Cole for the low.
hey, I appreciate you, Mr. 401. And I appreciate you, Mr. Rod and Mr. E. I'll
All right.
catch y'all later.
All right. We'll see you, bro. Okay, Rodney. We're gonna get to the winner here. Me and you are at the table, and hopefully he'll get back in time to give his prediction. But who do you have winning this NBA Finals, bro?
I think it's gonna be the Celtics. I got them in 5 or 6. I think they're gonna probably give. I don't know. MVP could be. It could be a toss up, man. It's either gonna be Tatum or Jaylen Brown, probably. And yeah, I just if the Mavericks were to win, of course they're gonna give it to Luka if that ever happened. But I don't see that happening.
Okay, are okay? Did you hear me there?
I did.
Probably not, right?
Was
Okay,
that
so let me just go ahead and run that back. You said that your winner is gonna be the Boston Celtics in 5 or 6 games.
right?
Is that correct? Okay, and MVP, you said it was kind of tough to split it up. Tax free enterprises is going 7 games. And shout out to Tax Free Enterprise 225. And also shout out to XE04. He agreed earlier with some initial comments there by for Eve when we were talking about initial thoughts of the series. That was before you came on, right? But yeah, shout
Yep.
out to everybody that's commenting and watching the show. Make sure you share and make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube for us, 411 Sports World Network. Make sure you also go to TikTok and type in Mr. 411 on TikTok. You can do the same thing on Instagram. Just type in Mr. 411, or you can just go ahead and scan those QR codes. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you share because sharing's caring. All right. But Rod, who was your MVP?
Man, it's probably gonna go to Tatum.
Okay. Wow, Jason Tatum. It's two for Tatum. Okay. All
He
right.
easily go to Brown. I mean, just depends on how that last game is gonna go.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of see how it's gonna go. I do think that wow, man. I hope I'm not jinxing myself here, but I do think Boston across the board, like I said, I think they have not only I'm not saying that they just have like all these great players, but they have a lot of excellent players. And I think everybody on their team understands their role. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's something to be said. There's just something to be said about a team. And they have a lot of players that could be starters, even ones that are on the bench. And there's players that are even starting that probably could get more minutes somewhere else and that could put up more stats somewhere else. But for what they're doing, it seems like that everybody's on board. And when you have everybody on board, you have all the different options, and I think that they could absorb like a 14-point game from Brown, or they could absorb a 18, 19 point game from Tatum, and I think they still can get a victory if they do that. I think more so with Dallas, it's going to be more relying upon Kyrie and Luka to go off, and that could very well happen. But but for that, in my prediction, I'm gonna go with Boston. Boston, Mr. 4-1 is going with Boston as well. So far, that's 3 out of 4 on the panel going with Boston. Rodney, you had it 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Cole had it 6 or 7 games, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with 7 because I think that these two teams are, I think they're made for each other. And so I'm gonna have it go 7 games, and I'm gonna go Boston, and I'm gonna go Tatum as well for MVP. I think Tatum, this is his opportunity. You know how throughout careers you have that moment, you have that spot. Here's the spot right now for Tatum to get a championship and also get a Finals MVP under his belt. Um, so he can be under be under the same lore as a Paul Pierce and with the Boston legacy. So I'm going with 7 games Boston and Tatum. You are up.
Oh, Paul Pierce legacy. What about a Larry Bird legacy?
Larry Bird got 3 MVPs and three championships. We're gonna start with Pop.
In this league.
3 straight MVPs, by the way. I would say we'll start Tatum off with that, and then he could, maybe he can add to that and then start being amongst those other names there.
I like what you say.
Also Havlicek. Let's not forget Havlicek. Havlicek.
Let's just keep on going. Might as well say Tommy Hines then and Cedric Maxwell and
there you go.
But anyway, I agree. I guess all 4 of us agree with the Celtics winning, and I'm saying they should win it. I mean, just because of everything that they've been through and the X factor of the X factor of these guys right here, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. It's their time now. Whether they are able to, catapult this to the level that they should be on at this time, at this point in their career, by their experience and the times that they've been there, it's up to them. I kind of like look at it when Curry beat them, right? When Curry did the put them to sleep thing, right? Everybody was saying, Curry, this is his opportunity to win this MVP. He's never won that. This is his time. What if he didn't win it right then? This is probably his last opportunity. But this is the opportunity. And Jayson and Jaylen, they're going to get another time to do this. But this is their time right now. They're still young. They're going to be contracted out. And I'm expecting them to do what they should do. My thing with Dallas is, as great as Luka and Kyrie are as a duo, those two, I don't know if that supporting cast can carry them, in a 7-game. I'm predicting 7 games.
Okay.
7
7?
games.
Okay.
And I'm predicting, going back to something I said earlier with the format, 2-2-1-1-1. I'm still just thinking that they should be able to win. So, and I'm going with what should happen, what many people think, and that's Jayson winning the MVP. Tatum winning the Jayson Tatum winning the MVP.
All right. Well, we got a landslide here for Boston. Just a matter of how we do. We all think it's going to be a long series. Tax Free says Brown MVP or Kyrie MVP. Only 2 options outside of Luka and Tatum. Yep, good point. Drew is a sneaky play against the public. Yes, he is, because he can affect the game on both sides. There, and he might be able to sneak in the MVP. He could do that. I mean, we've seen that in Golden State, right, with the Iguodala getting the MVP. And so that could possibly happen as well. But man, we all going with Boston. I think that the Maverick Nation is not going to like us tonight. But their team definitely has a chance to prove all of us wrong and do what they have to do. So Gentlemen, man, this has been a wonderful experience once again. Got the crew together. I know everybody's gonna be looking forward to watching these games, and we definitely will chop it up and make sure we stay on top of things. And we'll, of course, it's a long series. They got the games spread out, so we'll probably get together after the first couple games and then assess some things. If you all are good with that.
Very good.
No problem.
Very good.
All right. Closing comments, and then we rolling. Right.
Sorry I was late, everybody. My bad, man.
No, you good. You good, right? Don't worry about it.
Very good, man. It's glad to see you, man. Hey.
Always good to see y'all, man.
We know that that itinerary is loaded, ladies and gentlemen. So I know, Rod. I appreciate the humility there, Rod. But we understand, man. Like, look, we just glad to get you on when we can. So for you to take the time to do that is,
I sang you the song. Didn't I sing you the song? Rod, he's our man. Let's give him a great big hand.
That's right.
Hey, my closing comments are actually, this is unconventional, but I got to get this out because a lot of people are they don't understand this, or they think I don't understand basketball, and I'll let y'all judge what you say. And I told you about this before, TJ.
Okay.
That how this thing works. We the foul Kennedy put on Caitlin Clark that everybody's talking about.
Oh my goodness! Can we do a second show on that?
Oh, we can't. Anyway, I didn't.
I'm saying we can do it tonight.
We can. We can. Hey, man, I'm just saying.
We can do it tonight.
Okay. All right.
We can close this one. We can close this one and reopen another one.
Okay.
Because I want to be in there with you on that one.
the closing is going to be
good.
It's an interesting series. I think Boston's going to take it. I can't wait to see it. But it's we need you start this one up because I'm down here now. So do what you got to do.
Oh, okay. You in the dungeon now. Okay, so we gonna do that. So tax free, get ready. Make sure you hit subscribe, and you'll get the notification. I just need a couple minutes to get it set, and we gonna jump right back in and talk about that. Caitlin Clark situation. I see you have hashtag no Caitlin. You definitely need to come back because you may not like everything that you may hear in a few. But yeah, we gotta talk about that, Rod, because it's a whole lot to say about that.
Stay tuned.
All right,
stay tuned.
There you go, E. But yeah, great. I think it's gonna be a fun series, everybody. There's some numbers there. You can see the records throughout the season, point differentials, and all that good stuff. All those stats. And then you see the spread there, 6.5 for Boston. So yeah, they Vegas thinks Boston is going to be good, or ESPN bet thinks that. Excuse me. So we'll see where all that goes. E, you got anything to close out this particular episode?
Great, good. I think that you all are right.
Yeah, we all picked Boston.
We all picked Boston.
Yeah, I hope we are. But yeah, I appreciate you, E, as always. You're always bringing the wisdom and a very unique way of delivery and all that good stuff, man, because it keeps everybody ready and on their toes, and it's just great delivery, way for us to really soak in the information. Definitely appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate everybody who commented today, watch. Make sure you share it, because sharing is caring. Make sure you subscribe, do all those things for us, and stay tuned. Because Rodney's in the dungeon, so now anytime I can get Rodney in the dungeon, I gotta go to work. So we gotta get some more information out of him, and so be ready for that. And you just might see E. You gotta see what his schedule's like. He's a busy man too, but you never know. He may be right in there with us. So for E, for Rodney, for Cole from the Low, Mr. 411 is here. We thank everybody. Stay tuned, because we're gonna be right back.